In this tutorial, we'll learn how to grant Oracle Fusion Data Intelligence users permissions from a licensed role not pre-mapped to a group, enabling control over Oracle Analytics Cloud Workbook permissions like AI Assistant, Advanced Authoring, and Export. Many pre-built license roles are automatically pre-mapped to license groups. For example, when I sign into FDI and open the Security Console, I can see the FAW licensed ERP consumer role is pre-mapped to the FAW licensed ERP consumers group. In contrast, the FAW licensed ERP non-AI consumer role does not have a pre-mapped group. In this scenario, I'm an FDI service or security administrator, mapping the ERP non-AI consumer role to a group to enable read-only workbook access, without AI Assistant or Advanced Authoring features, but with export access. My Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI Security Administrator, has already created custom groups in OCI IAM for me. When creating groups, OCI Security admins should use unique names that won't conflict with current or future Oracle-derived licensed groups by avoiding the word licensed in the group name. Adding a prefix with a company abbreviation to the group name for clarity is best practice. My OCI Security Administrator has added the user JPERP Viewer to the newly created OCI IAM group. The group syncs automatically with FDI and is immediately available for use. As the FDI Service or Security Administrator, I will sign into the FDI Security Console to map the license roles to groups. I'll find the groups created by the OCI Security Administrator under the Groups tab. From there, I'll select the new group, open the Application Roles tab, and then select Add Mapping. I'll then search to find and select the corresponding licensed role and select Save. The licensed role is now mapped to the group. I'll repeat this process as required for other groups. Next, I will map the duty roles to the group. FDI users require both licensed roles and duty roles. Duty roles are predefined roles that secure predefined subject areas and front-end objects. If a user doesn't already have the required duty roles, I can grant it to them in the Security Console. In the Groups tab, I'll select Add Mapping and add the necessary duty roles. I'll search to find the applicable duty roles and select Save to map them to the group. The duty roles are now mapped to the JPERP Viewer group, granting access to the accounts payable subject areas. I can repeat this process for other groups as well. Next, I'll grant access to the catalog and workbook. By default, each license role is associated with the applicable system roles. In the Oracle Analytics Cloud associated with FDI instance, system roles and duty roles can be used to control access to catalog objects, such as folders and workbooks. I'll select Back to exit the Security Console and navigate to the home page. From the OAC homepage, I navigate to the catalog and locate the folder I want to define permissions for. I'll select the menu and then Inspect. In the Access tab, I can grant the desired access to each system role for this folder. Here I have granted read-only access to the Viewer and Consumer system roles. Only the restricted author and service administrator have read-write access on the folder. I can also configure access permissions for workbooks. I'll locate a workbook in the folder, then select the menu, then Inspect. In the Access tab, I can see the same access settings for this workbook. If I would like the author and restricted author to be able to edit the workbook, I need to navigate to the Share tab and then grant Edit Permissions. Now I'm ready to validate permissions for the mapped roles, so evaluate how different license roles interact with OAC workbooks. I'll start by opening a workbook, then navigating to the Present tab. I'll find the Insights panel and set the toggle to On to enable Workbook Assistant. Now I'll review this workbook from the view of the Consumer licensed role. Consumer licensed roles have read-only access to the workbook, can use the OAC AI Assistant, and can export workbooks. Now I'll look at this workbook from the view of a non-AI consumer licensed role. Non-AI consumer license roles have read-only access to the workbook and can export the workbook, but these users cannot use the OAC AI Assistant. Next, I'll check the behavior of the viewer licensed role. A viewer licensed role has read-only access to the workbook and can use the OAC AI assistant, but these users cannot export the workbook. The licensed role with the least amount of access is the non-AI viewer. Non-AI viewer licensed roles have read-only access to a workbook. They cannot use the OAC AI assistant and cannot export the workbook. Finally, I'll look at the restricted author role. Restricted author licensed roles can create and edit OAC content and key metrics, but they cannot configure analytics modeling features such as connections, datasets, and data flows. Restricted author license roles can configure the AI assistant to index datasets in subject areas and can grant access to others. However, it cannot export workbooks. Now that I've mapped the FAW licensed ERP non-AI consumer role to a group, I can assign this role as needed across my organization. Find more videos in this series and additional resources on using Oracle Fusion Data Intelligence in the links below.